Alright, here we go. I'm about to do a tier list video of all the games currently in my Steam library. Alright, here we go. So that's the amount of games in my Steam library is about like 100 that I've actually like opened at least, or about like 160-ish. So we're going to go through them right now. Right here, right here. Here we go. This might be a little small. We got oh, I hear the tiers. It's gonna be it's just simple 5 tiers. Super, good, I, meh, and trash. And we're gonna start off this list pretty bad with Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That's definitely going in the near trash level. Duel Links started off okay when they are giving out a lot of gems, but of course we know the Konami formula, as we see in Master Duel as well. They give you a lot of gems, and then you're forced to shell out the big money from your wallet. Duel Links, I feel like, is the same thing, and I dropped it after like the first 6 months after they stopped, giving me the ability to play the game without spending money at least. What do I expect? It's a free to play with the grind formula. Like, what do I expect? What do I expect? Like, I don't know. I played Duelist Link Evolution, and that game, although it had problems, I'd rather just pay straight up for the game than have this free to play. I understand the free to play nonsense where like, oh, you want to get people to like download the game and play it, and then you get them hooked, right? Because a lot of people have like that barrier of entry with the cost. But I'm not gonna lie, I'd rather just pay for the game and play it. I'm done with the free to play formula. I'm not gonna lie, and I fall under that category too. Sometimes I won't play a game that I find that it just costs too much for what it is, and then I won't. And it gatekeeps me from purchasing the game. But I still take the stance that I'd rather pay straight up for the game than deal with this mobile nonsense. And we're going to say the same with Master Duel. Although it's definitely a lot better than Duel Links. I think that Master Duel, Yu-Gi-Oh! The modern game, it's too much combo in my opinion, for depending on the decks you're playing. And the simulator is just so slow. And with the free stuff you get, I mean, you can build one good deck and just play that for the most part forever, and then you probably could just earn enough gems to build another deck as the game progresses. But I ain't about that. I ain't trying to sit here 15 minutes watching my opponent combo while I sit there and like do nothing and then have to break their board. And it's the same for me playing the game as well. Like if I play a combo deck, it takes a good while, and I think it's too slow for Yu-Gi-Oh! As a modern format game. And, if it was like Yu-Gi-Oh! Back maybe in like 5Ds or something, maybe Master Duel, I'd play it more. But for now, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! In its current state, I'm putting it down here in the middle of meh. Alright, next game. XCOM Chimera Squad. Okay. I don't know why this is the only XCOM game I decided to pick up, but this game is also in the meh section. It's like, 12 hours of gameplay, and the story's okay, I guess. It's full of, like, bugs. Like, I feel like it's very buggy. Like, it crashed on me a couple of times, and some of the missions soft locked, so I'd have to restart. And the game just feels very incomplete. It does not feel like a fully fleshed out game. The best part about this game is probably the banter between your characters. But other than that, I cannot recommend this game at all. Like, the games I recommend have to be in like these 2 tiers up here. All right, next one we're going for is Worms Ultimate Mayhem, a 3D Worms game. I love Worms as the series, and I don't have anyone to play with, and the single player for this game is actually pretty good. But Would I say that people should be playing this game? I don't think so. I think it belongs right in the middle. Like if you like the worm games, if you like the shooting, like what do you call it? The tank shooters, basically, but with like worms and like this game isn't. This isn't the 2D worms. I like the 2D worms as well. This is like the 3D version, and the 3D version's a little clunky. It's like Worms is already a pretty slow game, but the 3D version is just like especially slow. Like, so I mean, they're Worms. What do you expect, right? But this game is good. It's got a good single player content, and if you don't have friends to play it with, it kind of goes down more. But like if you have friends to play with like regularly or like just know the game and play the game, it's probably like up here. But I have no friends that play this game, so it goes probably like in the lower tiers of I. Next game is Warframe. Okay, so essentially this tier list of my Steam library is like my history with PC gaming that is associated with Steam. So this is like, I got into Steam like, I don't know, like 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So like, I was in my formulating, developing teenager brain, and like how I view games nowadays is, although like it's influenced by like my console gaming as well, there's some big influence in the PC game department here with my Steam library. And Warframe, this is a game where honestly I'd rather just straight up pay $60 and then pay for DLC than play the free to play design that it has. I feel like this game has so much potential as a like IP and as a game, like just the game is fun to play, but the mobile aspects of it, because it's free to play, just hold it back so much for me. I know I can look at some guides and stuff and like follow the game guides to go farther in this game, but honestly, I'd rather just have this game is a complete game, but I just don't like grinding. I don't like grinding in the sense that I have to grind to get currency or grind. Okay, I don't want to say grind for progression because I play like RPGs and I grind in those sometimes to progress. But like Warframe, it just feels like a mobile game question mark. But I feel like it has so much potential. Like the graphics are good, the gameplay is actually fun, even though like you do have to grind. I like the characters, the Warframes. I like the environment, the story, the factions. Like it's all really cool, and like your hub world is really cool. But like, I think if it was like just a standalone game that, I know it makes, I don't know. I know I understand why it is the way it is, but I wouldn't mind seeing another game made by this company that's like in the Warframe universe, that's not like the mobile, like a free to play game, like a fully paid like $60 game that has like that goes through a Warframe story, has like multiplayer like deathmatch of like the Warframes. That would be really, I would like to see that in the Warframe universe. And so like the current game I put in I think it's an I game. Like if you like the grind and stuff, you could probably play this game and be fine. But like it has potential to be up here with the higher tier games. All right, so random fighting game number 1, Verdict Guilty, and then some characters. I think this game is whack. It's a whack game. You get like, there's like an instant overhead. Like one of the I only played like 2 of the characters and I just played their arcade mode. But from what I get, like this game is totally whack. Like you could do like overhead into instant overhead like after you land, and it's like a true block string ? And then there's like one of the characters has like a 5 hitting overhead. Like we're talking about like Vegito jumping medium, where he does like his 3 kicks. If you ever played Dragon Ball Fighter Z, he does the thing. But there's a character like that, but it's like 5 hits instead of 3. So I wouldn't recommend this game, but like if you want to mess around with it's pretty fun. Like it's very troll. I mean, it's got its charm. Like it's like a very simple pick up and play fighting game where you don't have to like grind anything. I'm sure if you grinded, you could become a god at this game. But like, it's okay. It's fun. Like I'd give it. It was only like couple dollars, like $3, $2. Like, if you have some spare change, you can probably pick it up and have some fun with it, just, pressing buttons. I'd say this is a pretty funny fighting game, and, it was fun beating up the CPU. It has better story mode content than your AAA fighting games out here, even though that's not saying a lot, even if I do say that. So, it's aight. It's aight. Okay, Valheim. Popular game in COVID era. This game, I feel like this game really dropped the ball. Like, I'm already not like a fan of grinding, and I kind of picked this game up on the hype train, but I would not recommend. I put this game in meh. It's not trash, but I would not recommend you pick up this game. I mean, if you have friends to play with, it probably goes up here with like good and alright, but like, even when I was playing with friends, it just, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of how this game, like, the grind in this game specifically. I guess I'm just not a fan of Rust, or, like, I'm not a fan of the genre of this game, I suppose. Like, I thought I felt like I got jebaited. When I purchased this game and I played it, and then I was like, wow, this is just not fun. That was my conclusion. Maybe the genre's not for me. I thought it was not fun. Okay, fighting game number 2. This isn't a random fighting game. It's Under Night In Birth something under EXLCLR something, and I know this is gonna get a lot of flack, but I'm putting it in meh. I find this game. I'm sick of long. I mean, I don't even think the combos are that long. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong about this game except that it's an anime fighting game, and it just has all the anime fighting game things that anime fighting games has, and it's got like this grid system that's like very, what do you call it? People praise it a lot, but I think it's whack. I don't I just think I know there are people that have explained to me the grid system and why it's so good, but in my opinion, I don't want my brain is ooga booga. I don't want to think about that many things when I play my fighting games, right? So like this grid system, whack nonsense kind of thing. Okay, let me remove my negative terminology. It's not whack nonsense. I'm sure it's like great and amazing, but like I ain't out here trying to spend my entire life trying to learn how to play some fighting game. I'm just here to play the game, right? And if playing the game requires me to like learn like X million things, I'm just not gonna play it. Like, fighting games are a thing where if you want me to learn the fighting game, it has to be progressive learning. And particularly for fighting games as a genre, that just doesn't happen unless you have a rival or like someone you can play against who is like the same level as you, and you like learn as you play, as you go, and you learn more. But this game is just, and I also struggle like with I know I can do like the more basic BNBs, but like if I know like there's like something like more optimal, that's like it's in that difficulty range where it's like I can do it but not consistently, and I don't want to grind to do it consistently, so I just drop the game. That's my end conclusion. And would I recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it. All right, moving on. Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe. Alright, this game is goated. But not the game on Steam, but like the concept of Ultimate Tic-Tac-Toe. If you guys never played it, it's tic-tac-toe within tic-tac-toe. So you're playing 9 tic-tac-toe, like, squares, and wherever you put the tic-tac-toe, like the entire game moves towards that square. So like in my tiny sub tic-tac-toe, if I put a circle on the top center tile, then the next move has to be done in the sub tic-tac-toe that's in the top center tile of the larger tic-tac-toe. And in order to win, you have to get tic-tac-toe in a tic-tac-toe within the large tic-tac-toe. This game, very good. I highly recommend you play this game in person. Not on Steam, but like I have it on Steam. It's just a great game. It's in the super tier. Very fun, very thought-provoking. Maybe there's a way to cheese it. I haven't discovered it. I've discovered some cheese, but I recommend you try playing this game with someone. It's up there in super. Here we have Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3. You know what? That's going in the same place as Under Night in Birth. It has the exact same problems, but it's more broken. And it's in that difficulty range where I'm like, I can do these combos if I grinded, but I don't want to grind. So it belongs here. Literally the same. It's, you know what? I put it above because I like the IP more. Marvel vs. I love the IP. This I have no connection to that. The only thing that like I like in this game in terms of IP is Merkava. Everything else, like, you could delete, and like I don't care. I actually don't care about the story or any of the characters. In this one, I actually do care. I actually like the IP. I don't like the IP here, so we're gonna put that underneath. Oh, Ultimate Chicken Horse, the GOAT of party platformers. If I had friends to play it with, I love this game. Unfortunately, you know, I tried playing this game. Some people just aren't very platformer, like, they aren't very good at platformers. So, like, playing with, I know this is like a party game, but like, people who have no ability to play a platformer, like, it's like a real struggle to play a game with them. Especially if you don't, like, you're not really, you know, like, friends with them. You're just playing with them because, you know, they're there. Like, it's hard to, like, this is a game for like your homies, and if your homies can play platformers, this game is really fun. But I don't get to play this game often because I don't have that many friends to play it with, and who are fairly competent at platformers. But like, in the ideal scenario, it goes up here with Supa, but it's just good because circumstances. Not everyone can play this game. If you don't have friends to play this game, then it's an I played this game a couple of times, but it's not too often. So it's just in good somewhere like right here. Okay, Uber Strike. This is, some of the games on this list were like freeware that I played when I was young because I had no money and my parents would give me money to play games, which is fair. So I played a bunch of freeware, and Uber Strike was one of the freewares that I played a lot. You know, it had hackers and stuff and people who cheated, but like, I actually do enjoy this game. It's like one of those arena shooters that has like free to play microtransaction garbage in it. But if everyone was like playing like the base set, this game is actually pretty good. It's very enjoyable. So I wouldn't put it up here with freaking. It's definitely down here. It's definitely down here. It's not better than these games that I've already put here. If you guys want to try Uber Strike, I would not recommend it because it's kind of like, I don't think it's a living game anymore. But like, in its day when people were playing and you could like hop on a server and like hopefully there wasn't like a person who hacked all the good gear and stuff, or like just paid money for all the good gear and was stomping everybody, this game was pretty fun. But right, it's down here. It's down here. The next one is Trove. So I don't play that many MMOs, but Trove I did play, and I played it with a friend. as like a co-op game. And it's not bad. It doesn't even have the same problem as Warframe, but like I just didn't know how to progress. Like actually, like I'd level up and stuff, but like I have no idea like what I'm supposed to do in this game. So like it's an MMO where I have no idea what I'm doing, and like I didn't like it enough to like search up any guides. So like it's an okay game. It's not a bad MMO. You can get pretty far without spending any money, and you know the co-op experience is actually not that bad. If you play with a friend, you can go around, just run around killing stuff. So I put it here. It's pretty. It's alright. You know, I'm gonna move Worms up a little more, so I could put like some sus games down here. Oh, Trackmania. Trackmania, it goes in Supa. This game is also one of the freewares that I played all the time. Got own track maker. You can play custom tracks. You can race against other people. It's like honestly crazy good racing game. If you haven't played it, I'd recommend. You know, I'm not gonna put these up here. This is too high, but we'll put this one down here. Down here, yeah. Trackmania is a great. If you don't play racing games and you want to get into playing some racing games, this is a good game to start off playing. It's free. There's custom tracks. There's a lot of replayability. You can train like, you know, precision, and like it's good to help you play. Makes you better at playing video games. Highly recommend Trackmania. Towerfall Ascension. This game is good, but it falls under the party local games kind of deal. But it has single player, so it has like single player content that you can play. It's just overall a well made game. I play it with my family sometimes, my brothers, and it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. I would say that it's a pretty good game. It's a little pricey for like a majority of games that are like local co-op or local party games. It is a little, but you can pick it up on sale. It goes on sale like semi-often. You can pick it up on a sale. It's definitely worth the sale price. Would I say it's worth full price? Full price is like $25. You could pick it up for $25 and it'd be worth it, but you'd have to have people to play it with on a regular basis. This game is only worth it if you can play it on a regular basis. Because like I know there's like a story mode and single player content, but the single player content is cooperative. You can play it with people, right? So like the ideal scenario for this game is that you're playing it with people. And if you can't play it with people, or there's not a scenario that like comes up often in your life, you should definitely pick it up on a sale. But I would recommend this game. I'd say it's pretty good. Tabs. This is it's a simulator game that simulates like physics-based warfare, and it's alright. It's alright. It's just a fun trolling game. Like you just put a bunch of like, what if 5 cowboys fought, you know, like 30 stone throwers, like, and like the physics is like all like, it's like wacky physics. It's kind of real but not real physics. Like the physics makes sense, but it's like cartoon physics. I'd say this game is pretty fun. It's just fun to mess around with, and you know, at the core, it's just a fun game. But like, would I say that I would play it on the regular, or like would I recommend it? No, it's a good like 20 hours worth of like campaign content, and would I say it's 20 hours? Maybe like 10 hours worth of campaign content. And if you just want to like mess around with, like if you were sitting on a couch and you wanted to like bet on what if 5 mammoths would win against, you know, 7 Zeus, this game is like the perfect game. I'd say it's very fun, like to what do you call it? It's fun to speculate what would win in combat. Like it's a good spectate. Like, you know, when you watch a fighting game and you're like looking all the players play against each other and you're speculating, oh, who will move in the bracket. It's this, but a video game, and the combat is like army placement of cartoon concepts. Alright, let's see. Torchlight 2. Torchlight 2 belongs in good. And I never played Torchlight 1, but this is what do we call it? An ARPG. And Torchlight 2 has the online co-op. And I've started a bunch of characters, and I usually get past the first act. But playing solo, I never really like finished the game. I've only finished the game recently because one of my friends wanted to like finally. They also never finished this game, and we were like, okay, we're gonna finish this game, and we played it. And I'd recommend you do not play this game on anything but normal. And I know like it sounds clown, but like playing this game on like hard difficulty and like harder difficulty, it's the difficulty scaling that just makes you do like less okay, you don't do any less damage, but the enemies are just tankier. And it's like grindy, like it feels like a grind to play the game. And I guess ARPGs are kind of like that in general, but like if you just want to play the game, you should definitely play on normal, and you'd have a way more fun experience. You get to like go through the story, you get to blow up things, you get to do like combos instead of like you doing like 1% of their HP every like 2 seconds. And like it just takes like 4 minutes to beat something that, you know, because the game moves quickly, but the damage you deal on harder difficulties is slow. So the game, even though like 3 minutes is not that like long, it feels long, which is the kicker. The fact that 3 minutes feels more than 3 minutes makes it like a problem for me, which only keeps it on like, you know, now that I think about it, I'll move it down. It keeps it in the I tier, around like tabs, I would say, or a little higher because there's like more content and, you know, online co-op. Those are like really good features, and the customization of the characters is actually really nice. Like the classes, it's not too large, but like you can build a pretty diverse amount of builds in this game. So I think it fits here. I don't know. Is this Torchlight 1? I never played it. Let's delete that one. Remove. Oh, oops. I don't know what I just did. Which one is this one? Let me pull this up. T149. Remove. Alright, Terraria. This is going to be a hot take, but I actually don't enjoy playing Terraria. Like, I enjoyed it for, like, the first time I ever played it, and that's it. Like, again, with, like, the grinding, like, okay, Terraria is a fun game. You can play it co-op, but, like, grinding. There's a lot of grinding in this game, in my opinion. There's a lot of grinding. And, well, I don't know. For some people, it doesn't feel like grind. When Terraria first released and it was like a novelty, like in the Minecraft heydays. I'm not sure if Minecraft is still in the heydays, but like around that time, Terraria also like got really popular. And there's a lot of work put into this game, but I don't enjoy it. Like, I don't enjoy playing this game for some reason. Like, after the first time, I went to the hell, and like, so I started the corruption, and then I beat that, and then I beat like the skull on the other end of the map, and then I beat like the other side and the king slime and the hidden bosses at the time. I after that, I just like, I did multiple run throughs with, you know, different my friends and stuff. And I just never got that same joy out of it after that. Even with all the new content, like, it never felt the same. Like, maybe maybe my glasses like broke and then I threw them away, but like I never saw this game the same as I saw it when I first did like my first playthrough. So for me, right now it's like down here. I'm gonna put this lower because this is like I actually like master. I want to put this lower, but I can't put it lower than Master Duel because I definitely like it more than Master Duel. Where did Duel Links go? Well, Duel Links is somewhere. Question mark. All right. Well, Duel Links. Wait. Let me just reverse till Duel Links pops back up. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Torchlight 2. We'll put it in I. We'll put it here. 149. Remove this. I can't delete this layer. I can delete this layer. And then we'll put Terraria. This one right here. Okay. Terra. Another MMO game I actually got to like near endgame with. It's the only MMO game that I reached close to end game. So like max level was like when I was playing was like 70 or something. I got to like I was a level 65 mystic, and I put a lot of time into this game, and then I was like I played it over like one summer. I was like when I was really like playing this game, and I was like, dang, MMOs like really do consume your life, because I was like logging in every day and doing like trying to get up to end game. And that's when I decided that MMOs, like, I'd like to see a change in, like, the MMO genre. It shouldn't consume your life, like, to play the game. So, it was a fun game. Like, the combat was fun, and casting the spells was fun. It was honestly, I felt like one of the main pointers, or, like, what do you call it? Positives that this game advertised was that the combat was like way better than like your average MMO. And I actually do agree. I thought the combat was actually very fun. That's why I like actually got pretty far into the game. It's like the same with Warframe. But Warframe isn't as much of an MMO as Terra is. And maybe I'm saying that because I didn't get that far in Warframe. I'm sure like the Warframe heads would be like, oh yeah, it does consume my life. But this game was like taking a lot of time, and I was like, I don't want to play MMOs anymore. And you know what? I put that up here because it taught me that, right? So what? Okay, no, I wouldn't. Would I recommend this game? No, I wouldn't. I put it down here. But was it fun to play? Like, was the combat like as it advertised? Was the combat like pretty fun? Yes. So that was like a truth that they advertised. I thought the combat was actually very nice, so I'll give it that. Teleglitch Die More Edition. This game's pretty hard. I died like a bunch in the first 2 hours of playing this game, and then I dropped it. Does that say anything about the game? No. But would I recommend you play it? Maybe. I might end up finishing this game one day. Maybe. But for now, it's not in my plans, so I guess I'll put it with here with like Trove and stuff. Like, this game is cool. It's like a 2D roguelike. Not a roguelite because it's like a story-based game. Well, you don't keep any of your progression. Like you die, you just have to restart from the very beginning, I believe. And it's I don't know. I haven't played it enough to really give this a good. I'll put it in, man. I don't know why I dropped it, but for some reason I did, and because I dropped it, the reality that I dropped it, it has to go somewhere down here. We'll put it like right here. Team Fortress 2. It's a fun game. It's free, and I trolled around in the custom servers. I never actually played like the competitive mode is like if you want to play competitively, like it goes like way down here. Like in my like, I don't think this game was ever meant to be competitive. I know like the pub matches and stuff. I was trash, so I got flamed really hard when I first tried it. It's like imagine playing a fighting game, but like if you're trash, you get like flamed. That's Team Fortress 2 pub matches in a nutshell, because there's okay, it's a team game, so there's an expectation that you know some certain stuff. That's like if you went to a fighting game tournaments, ignoring like the cost of travel. They have like no gatekeeping in terms of like, oh, we don't want you here because you don't know how to play the game. No, that doesn't exist for fighting games, in my opinion. I don't think it exists. But in like team-based competitive settings, that certainly does exist. And it exists because it's a team game, and if you aren't doing your part, then you're making the team lose, right? So it makes sense that it exists. But yeah, pub matches, it's like down here. But for just the normal game and just messing around in customs with people and just having fun, this game is a blast. It's fun to mess around and troll. Although Valve, like, there's like a thing going on where like Valve doesn't support the game and there's like no updates and something like that. But like, I feel like the essence of this game is that it's fun and it's just a place where people come together and mess around and shoot each other. And I think that's a great thing for a game to have. So it goes up here in the super tier. Ty Mumari. This is a what do you call it? It's a stage platformer bullet hell-esque like there's a game but I don't know the name of, but like I know I know the game but I just don't know the name of it. It's the genre where you play as like an anime girl who shoots bullets and you platform through. It's that genre of anime gay girl platformer character dodges bullets, and like there are other anime girl bosses and other bosses that do bullet hell stuff that you have to dodge and then like kill. That's this genre. This is the only game I've ever played of that genre, and it's okay. Why did I play this game in particular and not one of the more popular ones? Because it was on sale for 50 cents. And I was like, you know what? Let me try this genre a little bit at least, just so I know like how it feels. And the game's not bad. Would I recommend it? No, not in particular, but it's not bad. And if you like the genre, I'm sure you could find some joy in playing it. So it belongs, like, let's say, like, it's not above Terraria or any of these, but let's put it here with Teleglitch. Okay, Tabletop Simulator up here, no question. Every board game, tabletop game, community, people coming together to play games, it's goated. There is no question that this piece of platform software, this software is just a method of enjoying games of all kinds, and that's amazing, and I'm thankful for the people who've made this. So instantaneous super tier up there with the goats. Synthetic Ultimate. Okay. This is a roguelite ARPG that's difficulty scales pretty hard as you progress. And it ramps up very quickly, and it feels bad. It's not a bad game, but it feels bad. And that's why it goes here. If you're interested in roguelike ARPGs, this game is pretty cool. The stages are not so great, but the art is nice. It's nice to look at, and I I would say I want to say the gameplay is somewhat fun, but the way the difficulty like the so roguelites has a lot of roguelites like Risk of Rain and stuff. As time progresses, you're on a timer. And if you aren't playing the game fast, the game gets like more difficult. And this game has a similar mechanic. And unlike Risk of Rain, well, okay, Risk of Rain has the same problem, but in this game it's worse. So that's why it goes there. Okay, Super Kiwi 64. It's a homage to Mario 64, and you could beat it. It's a small homage to Mario 64. You could beat it in literally 2 hours. But it's well made. It's a well made 2 hour game that has a lot of freedom, and I would recommend, like, I would give this to someone to play myself as like a thing to give, and I would be happy to give it, right? I'd be like, this game is a cornerstone. Like, it makes you a better gamer. It makes you better at playing the game. And it's freedom. It's like a freedom thing. It helps you develop the mental ability to play video games. Because of that freedom, it lets you formulate the mindset yourself, and I think that's a very hard thing to do, and a lot of games don't do that anymore. But I played this, and I was like, wow, I found this game to be quite enjoyable. So it definitely goes up here as like a game that surprisingly is like very well made, in my opinion. Impossible Road. This game is good. This game is good. I put it like right here. It's a dead game, but it's a good game. And I know there's like a mobile version. I'm pretty sure most people don't know what this game is, but this game, the design and the idea is very fun, and it's intuitive. And I think that although its presentation might be a little lackluster, it's definitely got it's definitely like well thought of, and the game is fairly well made. And I've spoken with the developer on like Discord, and the story behind this game, it's a tough one, and I understand. Like, I don't completely understand, but like, it's tough to make games. Let's just say it's tough to make games, and this game is good. Although it's not like a successful game, it's definitely a good game, and there's a lot of heart behind it. So we can put that there. This game, Super Crush KO. It's also good. It's a beat 'em up game that just looks pretty and has vibrant colors, and the story's the story's meta. It's pretty meta. It's very meta, but it's a funny story. It's just an enjoyable game. You don't have to like really think about this game too much. You just play it and it's fun. Like, the combos are fun. Just the movement is fun. And that's really all it needs. It doesn't have to have like this life-changing thing associated with it. It's just a fun game, and they had fun with it, and you can really feel it. So it's a good game. Super Great Box, also one of the freeware that I picked up when I had no money, and so this is a game that I play. It's an arcade game that's in the style of, if you ever played the original Mario Bros. Like, not like the platformer Mario Bros. I'm talking about the Mario Bros. Where like the mini game Mario Bros. Like Ice Climbers. It's like Ice Climbers, but one screen. It's the versus mode in one of the Game Boy Mario games, where like enemies spawn from like these spawner place areas, and they just come downwards, and you have to like not die. Or if you're playing with in the Mario game, if you're playing with multiple people, you're trying to like kill the other Mario. But in this game, it's I believe just single player, so you're just trying to survive and get a high score. This game has a lot of history with me, and as a not poor, as a child who had no access to money to purchase video games, this game was one of the games I played, and I thought I had fun with it. It's definitely not a great game, but it's a fun little game that someone made and provided to people for free. And I felt like, that at the core of games, it should just be something fun, right? So I feel like this game was made with that in mind, and pretty fun. I was coughing, holy crap. Super Animal Royale. It's a funny game. It's a funny game that if you play with friends is pretty fun. But does it have anything more than that? No, I don't think its style is particularly great or anything that like really stands out. It's a game that came out during like the heyday of battle royales, and I'm not sure if the heyday of battle royales is still going. I feel like battle royale as a genre is slowing down a bit, and there's not a lot of stuff like trying to get on the hype train. This was one of those games that went on the hype train. It was made, had like a battle pass. You can like upgrade the battle pass and get like animal cosmetics. It's a funny game. It was free to play, of course, following Fortnite battle royale syndrome. It's a fun game that's didn't have any predatory microtransactions from my memory, and if you wanted to get play as another animal, you could. And I think this game is the definition of a fun little battle royale that came out. So I'll put it. It's pretty high. It's pretty high. I get no negative feelings from this game. Every game down here invokes some negative feeling. In the meh tier and below, there is a negative feeling associated with that game. This game, there is no negative feeling, so I think it belongs somewhere in the lower of the eye. Okay, Sticks. Stealth game. It's a stealth story game. Pretty interesting. Never finished it. Why did I never finish it? Because when there's collectibles, it's hard for me not to try and complete the collect. I have this weird thing where if I know something exists, I want to do it, but I actually don't want to do it at the same time. So if those things exist, they make me not want to play the game. So it's like these fighting games down here where you have the combo, where you have the combo. Oh, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor down here. Well, let me change that. Properties, capture cursor. Okay. I'm not sure if my cursor, but here, let me. These fighting games down here, these two fighting games, if I know something exists but I don't want to grind to get it, it makes me not want to play the game anymore. And this game has elements where it's complete these missions during the mission that you're doing, backstab 5 enemies or whatever, or collect these collectibles. For me to fully, I enjoy a game more when my mind isn't thinking about those things. Imagine if I was playing Breath of the Wild and my mind was subconscious or just thinking about the Korok seeds and how I have to get all the collectibles. Like, I was able to not think about that to play Breath of the Wild, but for some games where it's like, oh, it like pings you, or like there's a thing on this indicator on the side where it's like, oh, get through these missions. Like, it makes me think about them, and then I enjoy the game less because I'm thinking about them. So this game, it's not a bad game at all. It's not a bad game at all. It just has those elements, and it makes me not want to finish the game sometimes. I will finish this game eventually someday, but because there's 3 games in the series, and I have all 3 of them. I just need to finish this first one first to like progress. Like, I don't like playing games and like I don't like starting another game without in the series without finishing the first one or the one that I currently am playing. So to play the other 3, I need to finish this one someday. Street Fighter 5. I heard on the release that it was bad, but for me, it's an game. I enjoy playing Street Fighter 5, and it taught me the fundamentals of fighting game. Ironically, like the most basic fundamentals, like anti-air and spacing. I would learn from this game because I'm kind of a zoomer. I didn't play like. I'm a zoomer in terms of fighting games. I don't play that many. Like I wasn't part of like the older fighting game generation. I do play sometimes. I play some old fighting games, but like I am a player of more new fighting games, and Street Fighter 5 I found enjoyable. I know a lot of people who start with like Street Fighter 4 or Third Strike or like the Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4 era people like don't like Street Fighter 5. But I like Street Fighter 5, and I started with Street Fighter. I played Street Fighter 2, but like not seriously in any way. And then I actually got serious about Street Fighter 5. Like, I learned the combos, I learned like how to play the game. So for me, it's pretty decent. So I'll put it up here. Stick to fighting game. Casual party game. Very fun, interesting, wacky. I put it with Ultimate Chicken Horse. I don't play it with many people. In fact, I haven't played there's a lot of games that I want to play that I don't purchase because I have nobody to play the game with. But I ended up still purchasing this game because, you know, I go to UCLA and I joined the fighting game club and I wanted them to play this game. So I just picked it up and we're going to play it sometime, and hopefully, I'm pretty sure it will be good just based on what I've seen. So, hopefully it's fun. Spiral Knights. I played 2 hours of this game, and it's basically Trove, except I'll put it worse because it's Trove, but the microtransaction stuff is more advertised and it feels more present. So. Actually, I'll put it worse than. Yeah, this goes to the end. I'll put it here with next to Terra. Terra better, but the game feels bad. It's interesting, but because of like it's a free to play ARPG MMO ? Game with like I'm done with free to play. With microtransaction, I'm done with it. I really like with gameplay, like microtransactions with that affect gameplay. Like, please stop. Don't do that anymore. That is my take. Splunky. This is the remaster, but I played a lot of the OG version because it was freeware. I never beat the game, and I still haven't beat the game, but I enjoy playing it, even though I suck. So, we'll put that here. Speedrunners. In all the party games that are good, I'm just gonna put it all here. Speedrunners, great game. Highly recommend you play it. Soul Calibur 6. I played like 3-4 hours of this game, and then I dropped it. And I'm just not a fan. There's nothing wrong with the game. I'm just not a fan of 3D fighters. Okay, I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with the game. because I'm sure there is something wrong with the game if you played it more and like had more knowledge about it. But for me, it's a 3D fighter, and I'm not too into 3D. I don't like memorizing all the moves and stuff. I find adding the 3D plane and like having to know all the moves is very difficult for me, and I have no rival to play this game with, so I ended up never learning this game. So it's like right here ish. Let's put it right here. Soulforge. This game got rebooted, so I'm just gonna put it in trash because that's currently where it's at. The original version of the game. The original version of the game was okay. It's a card game. It's a card game where you put stuff in 5 columns, and if you attack when the opponent's column is empty, you deal damage to their health, and if they get 0 health, they die. And this game's idea is cool because every time you play cards, you get a new card that's like an upgraded version of the card you just played, and they just put into your deck, and then it goes up 3 tiers. It's basically auto chess, but in the card game form. Now that I think about it, it's auto chess, but the card game version of it. When you play the tier 1, you put a tier 2 in your deck. So it's not exactly like auto chess, but the cards you play give you stronger versions of those cards, which is essentially how auto chess works, where you like get more of the same unit, and you get a stronger version of the unit. But in a card game, it's like you play the unit and then you get a stronger version of the unit. And in auto chess, there's like synergy. In this game, it'd be like your deck building synergy, right? How do the cards synergize with each other? How do they upgrade with each other? Wow, this game really is like auto chess. Now that I think about it, I never really thought about it, but that's interesting. This game, if you look at it, like this game came out before auto chess, and maybe auto chess was inspired by this game. I don't know. It's very similar to auto chess. Smite. If you're talking about a conquest, trash. Everything else, good. So, ignoring conquest, I put this game here. It's very fun. It's a fun game. Ignoring conquest. We're talking about like team MOBA games. If we're talking about team game and you play like the main mode, it's very anger inducing. Negative thoughts only. Negative thoughts only when I play conquest. Literally AFK like every game. Some person goes 0-20, and it's just only negative thoughts for conquest. Everything else, good. If you go 0-20 in arena mode, I don't even care because arena mode's fun. It's fun to play. The game mode itself is fun, even if my teammates feed. Even the bare minimum is met. So I think if you make a team game, going forward, like how people should design team games, is the bare minimum. If people are not good at the game should still be fun, right? And that's like arena mode. Okay, Joust isn't really that fun when you like feed, but like it's hard to feed in Joust. But arena mode, Smite, very fun, belongs here. Well, arena mode and Joust. Those are my 2 favorite modes, and they are in the good tier. Slay the Spire. It is a well-made game that I would recommend people play. It's a card roguelite, deck builder roguelite. It's like the original. It's like the one that started the heyday of deck builder roguelites. This was the game that started it, and it's a good game. And well-deserved success. I don't really have to... Skullgirls belongs in the trash tier. Not only do I not like most of its IP, except for Big Band. Big Band is cool, and Beowulf is cool. Okay. Sounds like I hate on Skullgirls. I do hate on Skullgirls. In fact, I just hate the game. I'm not gonna expand on it, but I think this game belongs in the trash. And to all the artists, the art's great. The art's great, well made, animation's amazing, has a lot of style. The game itself it should be in a dumpster fire and burn. That is, I'm not gonna. I can go on. I couldn't even go on for a long time about how much I don't like the game because I barely play it. So, am I a master at the game? No, I just only negative thoughts come when I play this game. That I have played at least. And when I watch this game, I don't even enjoy watching this game. At least I could watch Marvel vs. Capcom and it's broken, Clown Fiesta or Under Night Inverse and whatever is going on in there. I could watch it and be okay. There would be I might get angry at some things that happen, but this game, watching this game just fills me with anger. Not only because this, I don't like the IP, the it's good, but I don't like. The art is good, but I don't like what it is, and the gameplay is dog water in my opinion. So it just belongs in a dumpster fire, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the people who worked hard on this game, and that I'm trashing their game. But I honestly think the game you've made is literal trash. And if it didn't exist, the world may be better if this game just didn't exist, in my opinion. But, it's just an opinion. It's not factual, so. And why does my opinion matter? Civ 6. Grindy. Games take a long time. This is a hot take, but it's in the meh section. I don't enjoy Civilization because I'm bad. That's right. I said it. I'll say it right here and I'll say it again. I'm bad at these two games, and because I'm bad, I enjoy it less. Shell Shock. It's a tank game. I love pocket tanks. The iOS pocket tanks. I love tank games in general. Would I put it at super? No, it does have gameplay elements that are modified by currency that exists in the game. So I can't put it up here. So because of that, Spunky deserves a higher spot. Spunky is right here. Good. This one can go right here. Shards of Infinity by the same makers of Ascension. It's a good card game, deck builder. That's it's not part of the Slay Aspire heyday thing. It's just a deck builder that's a real life deck builder game that got ported or that was made on the computer. It's a good game. It's a good game. It's a good game. I can put it right here. Shadowrun. Okay, wait. Shadowrun Hong Kong. The game. Okay, I'll put this in the title. It's my favorite Steam game, but I will admit, the XCOM Chimera Squad. I didn't mention this earlier, but when there's something says 80% chance to hit or 95% chance to hit, and it doesn't hit, it fills me with infernal rage. It's like the Pokemon thing where you miss, play rough or you miss Stone Edge. It just fills you with infernal rage, right? I don't know, but for this game, the Shadowrun series in general, when something says 95%, it does not feel like 95%. It feels like 60% because I'm always missing 95%. I feel like I'm missing way more than I should be when it says 95%. And I know that's copium, right? Unless I looked at the code, I'm just saying how I feel, and that makes me feel bad. So I gotta put it. I can't put it that high, but it is my favorite game on Steam. So, and I recommend. The story is good. There's a lot of build diversity that you can go. You can build your team, build your characters. It's just a well-made video game, and this is the last game in the series, or not. It's the later game in the series. It's the one that was made later, so it improves on the previous two games. I went backwards, so I played the most recently made one, and then I moved to the older ones because I like the the Shadowrun Hong Kong so much. I was like, man, I should play the older ones and see what's up with them. And they both belong in the same place. They're like okay. Because it's Shadowrun Hong Kong but worse. Like every part, like as you go backwards, the games get worse. They're like not as good, right? And it's good to see that they've improved with each iteration, but that doesn't change my opinion that they're like worse games, right? So like, and they're like near. I would put. I don't remember which one is older. I think it's this way. I think I enjoy the story of this one more, but it's one of the order. Like these are like switched. Like I don't know which one is which, but like you can switch them around if the correct order exists there. Seraph. This game I haven't finished, and I'm like in the middle of playing it. And I have a YouTube series on me playing this game and me just talking over while I play this game. And that's like 5 years ago. And I still need to finish this game. I said in those YouTube videos that I will finish this game one day, no matter what. It's just I keep dropping the game. Like, and I don't know why I dropped the game. I don't. It's because I'm bad. That's why. I go through the levels and then I get clapped and I'm like, dang, I got clapped. And then I drop the game for like a year and then I come back and play one level and I do it. The cycle repeats itself. You know what? Maybe after this video, I'll finish this game. Like literally, okay, we'll see. Sanctum 2, Sanctum 1, good games. Highly recommend. They are tower defense FPS games, and they are good. This one is single player, not. I'll put it here because like I haven't beat it, and I don't plan on beating it. But I did. The second one is really good. Did 100% playthrough with my friend. Very fun game. Very well made. The difficulty it's a little on the hard side, but it's not too hard where you can't do it. It just takes a little bit of testing, a little bit of tries. And the fact that not only do you use your FPS skills, but your strategy skills as well, like in combination, very good. Very good. Very well made, fun game that's online cooperative, very nice. Like I'll put that in like I'll put Sanctum 2 in the super tier. I think this game it deserves it. Samurai Showdown, easy. Best fighting game made. I'll put it at the bottom here because fighting games are still trash. So it can't go any higher. But it is, out of all the fighting games, it is the best fighting game. And it should be in the super tier, but it can't go any higher because fighting games as a genre, they're just not good. They're just not good, and I stand by that. Samurai Gun, party game. I put it like right here. It's a party arcade like party game where you kill each other, which is they all fall in the realm of like the same spot unless like one particularly like is very fun. But I don't get to play these that often because I don't have any friends that play these type of games, or I just don't have any friends in general. That let's say that I do not have the I do not have the opportunity to play these games very often. Saint Rose the Fourth, all right. It is an okay, fun shoot 'em up, do Superman stuff game. It's the Saint Rose where you get superpowers and you just it's like you do a bunch of what's it called, fetch quest like or fetch. What do you call it? Side missions that are like kill 10 enemies. Or side missions that are like do some mini game. Right? This game is that. There's like the story campaigns and then there's like the mini game campaigns. And I 100% this game because it was just fun to play. Even though I just said that like I don't like the side mission stuff, things like that. I accepted that I didn't have to 5-star everything or whatever, like the high score rating system in the side missions. I was able to move past that and just enjoy the game. So it's this game is fun. I beat the game and I had a good time playing it. It's just fun to play. This game trash. I don't like Melee, and this Melee clone that has like no life. It's just the I already don't like Melee, but they made a game that's like Melee but doesn't have the same spirit as Melee. So it's doubly worse. So I'm just gonna put it down here. Not only that, it got rebooted and the support is whack. I don't know what's going on with this game, but I feel like they need to do something else. They need to do something else. Rounds. Party game. I actually like the idea of this game a lot, and I hope they add online like versus someday. So I'll put that like at the upper echelon of the party games. Roof Rage is a Smash clone. That's interesting. I don't have the opportunities to play these games often, so I'll just put it in the same, tiering as these party games here. Rogue Legacy is a roguelite that I never beat because I'm bad. And it's okay. I'm bad, and I don't like the movement of this game, but that's just me saying like a John for me being like bad at this game. So I'll just put it here. It's a roguelike platformer that you have to like, you're in this castle and you kill a bunch of the bosses to like, I don't know, escape the castle or something. I'm bad at this game. I know someone who's like really good at Metroidvania and like the platformer style S games, and they like clap this game super easily, but I personally am trash, and I never beat it, so it stays here in I. It's a good game, but I'm just bad. RoboCraft is okay. I think it's dead, but it was an interesting game as I played it. You essentially build a robot with like these like voxel cubes essentially, and then you go on a server and you battle royale. But it wasn't part of the battle royale like Fortnite battle royale thing. It was just a game that was made that was kind of cool. So I have no negative feelings about this game, so I'm not putting it down here in meh, but it's not that. I think the game is just okay, and I think it's like, I'm not sure if it's still alive right now, but yes, it's okay. Robo-O. It's like a super, it's not an old game, but it's like an old game. It's made to be old, and you can feel it. And my only gripe with this game is that I feel like there's something wrong with how this game reads super input. And like I can't get the super consistently, and it tilts me out of my mind. And fighting games already tilt me, so I'll put this under. It's a fighting game that's pretty simple and easy to get into, and it's made well. I feel like it's made well. It's just the super input. Maybe I'm just bad. Maybe I'm just like making up this John saying, "Oh, the programming's wrong," because I'm bad. Like I don't know. I can't get the super input, and it makes me kind of angry. So I'm gonna put it here in the lowest part of I. Risk of Rain 2, Risk of Rain 1. They're both good. I enjoy Risk of Rain 2 more, so I'll put that here. And Risk of Rain 1 is pretty up there, but so in Risk of Rain 2, things are more dodgeable than Risk of Rain 1. Kinda. There's still the hit scan, like fire dudes, but in Risk of Rain 1, like, in my opinion, I feel like things are just like not. There's nothing you can do to like not die sometimes, and that holds it back. So I'm gonna put it here. Rise of Incarnates. It's a dead 2v2 fighting game. That's all I had to say about it. It's dead. Game is dead. It's slightly sus with its IP. There was opportunity here for this game, but it's dead, so I'm putting it in trash. Ring Runner. This is another game that I have yet to complete, but because I'm bad, have not completed yet. But I'd say that it's RimWorld. I'm just not in. I'm putting it with Civ. I'm just not into management games. I was doing a co-op run with my friend, and like they just carried me. Like I was like literally burdening them. I think because just management games. I'm just not a fan of them. Not a fan of them. It's a negative. Management games give me negative feelings. There's nothing wrong with them. RimWorld, Civ, I feel like they're pretty well made games. It's just my tier list. I don't like them. So get wrecked. Realm Royale. Okay, this game, Hi-Res Studios. Sometimes I don't know what's going on with Hi-Res Studios. And they jumped on they keep jumping on bandwagons for some reason. And I don't know if it's doing that. I think they're being like successful. They're like getting success out of it because they keep doing it. But I'd like to not see that from Hi-Res Studios. I'm not gonna lie. I was a beta tester for Smite, and like I had really high hopes for the company, but they keep releasing like some. I don't know. Their games aren't bad, but like I want to see something else from them that's like that doesn't feel related to the market, because I feel like everything they make is related to the market. They're like not actually making things to make them. They're making things for the market, and that's like a realistic view for a game company, but like it just feels bad. And this Realm Royale is like not very good, and it's one of the games that they're following the market they made, and I was not a fan of. Let's see what else. What is this? Realm of the Mad God. This game invokes negative feelings with me because I'm trash, so I'm putting it there. Ravenfield, it's meh. I could not recommend this game. It's a funny FPS ragdoll game that's you just troll, like it's literally a trolling game. I'll put it with tabs because it's fun. Like I enjoy playing it, but can I say it's a well-made game? No, I can't. So I'll put it here. But it is fun to just mess around in. Punch Planet. Definition of mid fighting game. I do like this Agent G here. He's like this game just, it's a fighting game that feels slow, and I would. It's a Street Fighter game. It is a Street Fighter game. You can feel the influence of Street Fighter in every aspect of this game. But there's nothing that sets it to make it like itself, right? Because when I play this game, I just feel like, why would I not just play Street Fighter? Why would I play this game in particular? There's nothing that makes me want to play this game over Street Fighter. And that's why it's not a bad game per se, but nothing about it makes me want to play it over the game that it's trying to function as. Pummel Party. This game is troll, and I know my friends like this game a lot, but I personally think it's just okay. It's a party game that I'm not going to put in the party game tier because the quality just isn't there. Like some of the mini games are very well made, and some of the mini games are just actual trash. Like if the quality of the mini games were consistently very good, this game would probably be like higher than these party games that I put, but it's not. So it's gonna go only in I. All right, what prominence poker? Okay, you guys might not know this, but I love gambling. And that's why I try to stay away from it as much as possible. But if you want to play a poker simulator, this game is so funny. It's so funny. It's just it's one of the most funny Texas Hold'em simulators I've ever played, because like looking at it from the outside, like every time you all in, your character person like shoves in all their coins or their chips, and then they stand up and they start like emoting, and it like just playing this game is so funny. You play against. It's just a poker. It's just a Texas Hold'em simulator, and I find that funny, and it's a good one. It's not bad. There's nothing wrong with this simulator, and you don't have to pay money to play it. There's like you can pay real money, but like no, I don't think you should. Anyone ever should. And then with the money that you basically get from other people. So okay, let me preface this. You log in every day. The game gives you money, like in-game money, and you can use that to gamble, right? So you never had to spend a dime on this game. And then you could use the in-game money to buy cosmetics or like stages or like cards, and that's the game. So essentially, the game is Texas Hold'em in a simulator, and it's pretty good. It's pretty fun, and it looks good. It doesn't look good, but I don't know how to explain it. I like the way it looks. The style is something that I like. I like playing the game and looking at the game. So I'll put it. I won't put it that high. Okay, wait. Let me not put it that high. It's a good game. I cannot put it above. It's gambling, so I wouldn't recommend it, but I particularly enjoy it. So I'll put it there. Okay. This is Pox Nora, and it's a turn-based it's a very old strategy game that, like, how do I explain it? You put it's like more complicated. What's that game called? It's on the. All right, let me pull up my Switch right here, because I have the game on Switch and not on PC. It's more complicated War Groove. That it's like orthogonal. What do you go? It's got like the diagonal look, and like you control like characters that have like abilities and stuff, and then you like battle to kill the other person's base. It's like turn-based StarCraft. Yes, okay, turn-based StarCraft, and it's a dead game. Let's first. It's a dead game. Multiplayer is kind of dead. There's like dedicated people playing this game, and it's hard to get into. It's like, StarCraft. It's got the difficulty of a fighting game within a game that's like it's a fighting game that's not a fighting game. So it's dead. It's hard to get into. There's a lot of skill expression. It's not balanced. Like it's a fighting game that's not a fighting game. So I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it lower than all these other fighting games, because it doesn't have the. It's not cheaply made. Like, there's a lot of assets in this game. The art's not bad, but it's definitely doesn't have the polish of these other games for sure. So yeah, I'll put it like lower here. It's also free, so I'm in fact I'm gonna put it lower now, because I forgot the fact that you do have to like make a deck, and that's not free. Like, you have to pay money for that. So like it falls under the gameplay, microtransactions related to gameplay. What is this? Let me zoom in. Oh, Planet Side 2. Okay. Planet Side 2. This is a game that represents war pretty accurately, in my opinion. Because when I play this game, I feel like I don't matter at all. Like I'm capturing outposts and stuff, but and I'm doing stuff, I'm getting killed, but I feel like none of it matters. And if that's what they were trying to go for, they certainly nailed it. Because in this game, you actually have to make a platoon and like a large group in order to make any events on the map actually happen. So like your individual contribution is like not not like represented in this game, and I feel like that is accurate to war. Like war is like a thing that makes you feel like nothing, but like masses are moving on the war board, and this game is it's a portrayal of that, and it does it well, and the game's still fun and stuff, but I was genuinely surprised how this game makes me feel. And if you guys ever try it one day, I recommend you try playing this and to understand exactly where I'm coming from with this game. This is a game where you should play just to feel the game. And I'll put it, it's an okay game. There's a lot of support. It's still being supported, in fact, to this day. This is like an old game. This game, I can't believe this game still exists. So, that means it's still being supported, and there's still like a dedicated player base playing this game. So, it's definitely an okay game. There are microtransactions related to the gameplay because it's a free to play. You could call it like the battle. Not the best. It's like a battle royale, but like there's huge faction. Okay, well I'll leave the game here. It's an interesting game. I'd recommend you play it just for the sake of trying the game. Pit People. This game it's made by the same people who made Battle Block Theater, so the story is all wacky and stuff, but the gameplay is just infinitely worse. It's worse because the strategy it's a turn-based strategy game that the strategy is not deep enough, and the enemies they follow the difficulty scaling of just increased health, more damage. There's no like actual, I wouldn't call that actual difficulty. And this game does that, and at the end of the day, I finished the game, but I finished the game solely just to like play the story, because the story is always like funny and like interesting, but I slogged through the gameplay. The gameplay, like I dreaded playing the game. But the story was okay enough for me to be like, okay, I will play this bad gameplay, in my opinion, just to see what happens with the story. And so this isn't, I think the gameplay is bad, and it's definitely in the meh tier. It's not like a poorly made game, but I would not recommend it. Payday 2, I don't like Payday 2. I don't know why. And it's not a bad game at all. I just don't enjoy playing it. Even with my friends, I don't enjoy playing it. And I don't know why. I just, when I play it, it feels boring, unfortunately. And this one I can't really I just the bank heist, I don't know. Maybe I'm not that into shooting games, but like I just don't enjoy Payday 2 for some reason. I can't really explain it, but I'll put that like right here. Paladins is Hi-Res Studios Overwatch, and it has an interesting premise. And it's because there's like cards, and like you every round you get stronger or something. Your cards like upgrade. but it has microtransaction affecting gameplay. So I'm immediately this game is just worse than Smite. Like it's free Overwatch. I'm not sure. Okay, back when I played, there were microtransactions that affected gameplay. I haven't played it in a long time, so maybe they've updated it to change it. But back judging the game from when I played it, it belongs in this. It's not trash, but it's definitely I would not recommend it. Pac-Man DX Edition is a good game. It is. I'd say that in fact, I don't even play it that much, but when I do, okay. Actually, I'm just gonna put it in I. I'm gonna put it in the middle here, because this game makes me rage, but I'm not raging in like a negative way. I'm just raging because I'm bad. And so, I love Pac-Man, and I love the aesthetic of this game, and I might not like the memorizing the pathways part, but like this game is still fun to play. It's fun to like turn on and just eat orbs. So I think it was a worthwhile purchase. I don't know what this game is. Let me check. Zoom in. Oh, Overgrowth. Okay, Overgrowth. This is the. It's an interesting game. It's a, what do you call it? It's a ragdoll physics based action game. It's like a beat 'em up game where you're a rabbit and you're like a martial arts rabbit, and you kill or you like beat up other stuff. And the developer made story is like, it's very unusual. It's very unusual, and like I feel like they didn't put a lot of effort into it. So that's why I'm putting it in the top of. I'd put it lower if it was just that, but the game has a lot of player customizability. Or okay, I don't mean like you can make your own levels, and you could like there's like mod support for this game. So like players can like make their own levels, put in whatever they want, make like their own story given the game's mechanics, I guess. Like you can build your own story within the game if you like knew how to like use the API or like the what. I don't know. I've never tried it, but I know for sure you can like make your own maps, mod in your own story, and like essentially make your own game within this game. It's like they have like support for that, so that's pretty cool. So I'll put it in the upper echelon of meh. Okay. Orion Prelude. This game is like one of the one. Okay, it was $1, and I bought 4 copies of it because it's like a whack troll. It's a kill dinosaurs in waves FPS. So this game is like literally kind of. This game is dead. I am a sucker for arena shooters. I know I mentioned earlier that I don't like FPS. I don't like those kinds of FPSs, but I do like arena shooters. And this is one of those arena shooters it used to be $1. It's now free. I still have 1 copy of this game to gift to somebody, even though it's free. And like it got like re-released or something. This game just whack. I can't ever recommend this game, but if you want to troll around and like just troll, like this game is a troll. Okay, I'll put it in trash. It's literally trash, but it's fun trash. It's trash that I enjoy. So I'll put it in meh. Orbital Star. This game is aight. It's only aight. It's a party game, but I feel like because of the size of everything, it's hard to play the game. Everything's very small, so it's like counterintuitive. It's better online where you have like the full screen so you can like look at everything. But like if you play it locally, everything is very small and the game becomes a lot more difficult. So I feel like there was like some counter in the design, but it's always nice to have local player support. So it will never go any lower for me. It will never be in meh. Like I always love local player support. Halo Infinite doesn't have that. You know, there's some trend going on with games nowadays not having local support. But yeah, I don't know. Nuclear Throne, it's a good game, but I'm trash. So I'm putting it with Rogue Legacy. Nidhogg, goated game. Goated game. It's a goated game that I enjoy. It is a people might find this questionable, but I think it is a fighting game that is the purest of like fighting games. It's easy to pick up, has some masterability, and it's just a very well made game. Very well made game. Simple design. It's easy to look at, and it's fun to play. That's like everything you can want in a game, in my opinion. So I wouldn't put it over Samurai Showdown because fighting games are not good, but because I'm classifying it as somewhat of a fighting game, I'll move it here. Let's see what else. Neoverse. It is a game that came out during Slay the Spire heyday, and I don't have negative feelings for this one, so I'll put it in the upwards of meh. I tried to use this game to learn Chinese. That's the purpose I bought this game for. Because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play this game in Chinese and learn how to like read some of the characters. So applied Chinese learning. I never got that far, but when I was playing it, it was okay. It was okay. Not bad. It's not as good as Slay the Spire, and like they made everyone blonde for some reason, which is like an Asian thing. Asian people really like blonde, but yeah, it's kind of whack. I don't like this idea of like blonding everything, but it's a thing that exists. N++. It's a good party game. It's not a versus party game necessarily because it's based on score and time. So I'll put it with speedrunners. It's like a stick figure platformer with like very different kind of platformer physics. Multiverses is okay. I played it and I love Shaggy going Super Saiyan, but the gameplay feels very how do I say it feels bad. Like the hits just don't feel very good. I don't know. This game doesn't feel very good, but it's not a bad game at all. I think I'd rather just the free to play aspects of a game where like there's daily missions, there's like a battle pass, there's rewards. All those things that exist in this new market of games makes me not want to play the game. I'd rather just have everything and pay like a forward payment. But I know that's like not the style. That's not like the most economically viable way of a game company making a game, especially like the big companies. But it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and it makes me want to play the game less. So you might have a lot more players playing your game, but whether or not they stay is like, I'd say lower percentage than someone who's like paid. Of course, the massive amount of players that actually do try the game versus the loss of players that like you lose from dropping the game when it's free to play versus the loss of players you get when you have it paid. It's still like there's still more players. That's why people choose the free to play route. I think that is the reasoning, but it leaves the game is okay. It just all that mission stuff and stuff that affects the UI because it's free to play makes it a little rough, and the gameplay itself is, I don't know how to explain it, but it it doesn't flow well. Like, I I come from Smash Bros, and I feel like Smash Brothers, even though like Super Smash Bros is not like I have qualms about Super Smash Bros. It still feels much better to play than Multiverses, and I think it has to do with like how the characters move. Like the movement just feels smoother. But Multiverses definitely, I just put it in the bottom of alright. Move or Die is a party game, but it's not as good as the party games I've put up here. So I'll put it like maybe like down here. Monster Hunter World is grindy, but it's not a bad game at all. It's just grindy, and I don't like grind. Monaco, it's okay. It's a cooperative heisting game on like the 2D plane, and it's funny to like mess around and like watch as the group of people fail to work together. So that's always fun. So, but like, it doesn't hold anything as these games do for me. So like, it's only okay. I feel like it's okay. Microvolt Surge is the same scenario as Uber Strike. So I'm going to put it there. It's one of those free-to-play arena shooters that this one's especially, it's worse actually. You know what? I'll put this up here. This one actually makes me angry because the microtransactions were way more influential in the gameplay. So I'll actually put this like down here in. And you know what? You know what? It's just trash. Don't play this game. It's trash. Uber Strike was bad, but like it's not bad enough where I didn't enjoy it. This game, like I actually like actively thought negatively about. So I'll put it in the trash section. All right, where is the place? Melody's Escape is okay. It's just a rhythm game that generates a rhythm game based on like whatever music you put into it. So I enjoy. I like put like some of my favorite songs, and I just like do like some rhythm game thing on my keyboard. I'm bad at rhythm games, and this game has like modifiable difficulty, so like I can be less bad, and like I can like slowly ramp up to like more difficult stuff. And I know other rhythm games have that, but it's like with their own music, and most of the time for those rhythm games I really don't like the music. So like this game just lets me put whatever music I want. So this game is good. It's good. I'd say I like it. I like it. I like this game. Magic Duels. It's a card game which has lots of monetary parts to it, and that's immediately gonna go with Duel Links. Lethal League is okay. It's an okay game. It's fun, but it's okay. It's just okay. These RPG games, I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed them, but they're not good. They are not good. Oh, no, let me put that back here. They are not good. The second one is better than the first one. The first one is troll. It's an RPG that functions like you have to randomly click objects in the world to get new spells. And if you miss those objects, you might miss critical spells that are required for you to beat the game. And that is the case with a spell called Dispel, which removes regeneration. And the final boss, what do you know? It has regeneration. That's almost unbeatable if you don't remove it. So that's not good. That's not a good mechanic. Look, fortunately, the second game does a better job. So I'll put it like above here, right here. And then, the third game. So this is like their magnum opus game. Laboralia Elements. Much better game. Much better game. In fact, like there are so many improvements to the game, and it's like so much larger that, you know what, I'd actually recommend playing this game. It's interesting and the mechanics are intriguing. So it has the unique mechanic where you need to like absorb spells from monsters. And it's still the same thing where like if you don't absorb a certain spell, you lose out on like being able to beat certain things. But instead of it being a random object that like you have to randomly find, it's like the enemies you see in the game. So it's much better. Like that is, it's just a much better mechanic in terms of like game design. So like I like the series, so like I'll play them anyway. I'm like 25% of the way through the third one. I recommend it. I put it in I. KL 15. It's a good game. I like King of Fighters as a series, and King of Fighter 15, it's the best one in my opinion. But I haven't played much of the old ones, but of the ones I have played, which are 95, 13, 14, and 15, I like this one the most. 14's not bad, but I never got into it because I got into 13, and 13 really killed my love for the series. I gave up on the series in general, and it's only through 15 that I've been like coming back. And it's not trash, but I definitely have negative feelings towards King of Fighters 13. I won't put this on the top tier. Good. I'll put this one here and this one here. Okay. Jump Force. It's trash. It's trash. Do not purchase this game. I find it fun to play, but like story mode's trash. Hub world's trash. Most of the game is trash. Like if you could just delete everything about the game and only include like the character select and like going into a battle, I'd rather just have that and like remove everything else. That's my conclusion of this game. People say it looks bad. I honestly don't think it looks that bad. But the oh my goodness, the battle start thing where like the characters are just standing still and there's like a dialogue of text on the bottom with like no voice acting, it's horrible. Like if everything could just be removed except for going into character select and immediately going into the fight, I would rather have that than like things that are in the game actively make the game worse. So that's that. It Steals, the only horror game I've ever played. And it's good. It's good. It's the only horror game that I've ever played and I ever will play. Because my heart just can't handle it. Iris and the Giant is okay. It is Slay the Spire, but with a story that has more thought put into it. And the story isn't bad, and it's heartwarming. It's a wholesome game. Would I say it's like has high replayability? Not really, but it's different enough from Slay the Spire to give you a challenge in playing it, and it also has a pretty well written story that has good meaning. So it's an okay game. Insurgency. It's an FPS that I find it's like one of those real life. It tries to replicate like things you could do in real life, like the tilting and like It's a more okay. I wouldn't say it replicates real life. It has more mechanics that you could do in this game, and more like customizability with like your gear and loadouts and stuff. But I'm not too a fan. I'm not much fan of these FPS games. I just want to try it. I had like an FPS itch sometimes, and I wanted to try it. So this is one of the games I picked up, and it's okay. It's okay. Injustice 2. It's carried by its IP, and I will put it in meh. I like the IP a lot, but the game is. I feel like NRS is on the cusp of making, like, I know NRS has its own style as like a fighting game company, but it's so close to being like something amazing for me in particular, but it's just not there yet. Infinity Wars is a good card game, and especially now that they have like the entire card library for free, so you could just build whatever deck you want without like monetary microtransaction. And it was rebooted essentially just last year. So like the game was like dead for like 7 years, and then it got rebooted. So like I'm very thankful because I actually like this card game a lot, and there's like a lot of. It's a card game that is unlike any card game I've ever played. And so, like, I'd highly recommend people try this card game out. Horde is a party game I would like to play, but have no one to play it with. Heavy Bullets. I'm going to put these two in the same, because they're both roguelites, and they're both in. I have not completed both of them because I'm bad. But which one do I like more? Heat Signature has more complexity, but is not as fun as Heavy Bullets. Heavy Bullets is very. So this is like a top-down space exploration. Like, you raid ships, and like you can choose how you want to tackle the ships, but obviously there's like usually one suggested like method of doing it because of how the ship is oriented, and like the stuff you have access to in the current time point you're playing the game. There is like a recommended like way to beat the mission or the ship, but you don't have to do it, right? You don't have to do it that way, but it's just not the okay. It has more complexity, but the gameplay itself is not as fun. Versus Heavy Bullets is very straightforward. It's an FPS where your bullets, like, you only have a certain amount of bullets that you can re-pick up and reuse. But the gameplay is just like more fun, and the movement's good, and it flows much better than Heat Signature. But it's also much shorter. Heat Signature, it's a roguelike that takes like a full playthrough of the thing of Heat Signature would probably take like a long time. It's not like just like a 2-hour run that you do, like Slay the Spire or like Heavy Bullets. So I enjoy Heavy Bullets more, I would say. Hand of Fate, it's a good game. It's a good game, and I'd recommend people play it. It's a little jank on the gameplay. The gameplay is a little repetitive, but the story is actually interesting, and the progression is well thought of. Like it's a well designed game that's pretty fun to play. So I'd recommend picking it up. I'd put it high up here. Halo Wars is okay. I'm not a fan of management games, but it is cooperative, and I basically played with my friend, and he kind of carried me. So I had fun playing it with my friend, so I'd put it here. If I were to like play it like StarCraft, it'd probably be like down here, but I didn't play it that way. I just played the cooperative campaign, and I enjoyed it. Okay, Halo Master Chief Collection is a superb video game. It is a superb video game because it contains, I believe, all the Halo games, Halo 1 to 5. Now, if I were to rate the Halo games individually, I put Halo 4 in meh. I haven't played Halo 5, but I hear it's trash. I put Halo 1 in super because I just love Halo 1, even though it's like kind of dated in terms of like gameplay design. It's still, I had a very fun time playing the game. I put Halo 2 in like meh as well, but like higher. Like Halo 4 would be like down here, and then Halo 2 would be up here. The game is just wicked difficult. And it's not like difficulty is a bad thing, but like it made it less fun. And then Halo 3 would be also in super, but like lower. Lower than Halo 1. I enjoyed Halo 1 more, but Halo 3 was also really good. So, but Master Chief Collection as a whole, like, I know there's a lot of problems with like Microsoft and how they handle Halo, and you know I know like Forge and stuff. It has its struggles, but like it allowed me the opportunity to play Halo, and I'm thankful for that. So I'm putting it up here. Guilty Gear Strive is I think it's and I will not. I'll put it in meh. I'll put it higher than Marvel vs. Capcom though. Strive is the only Guilty Gear game I am going to play. And even then, I dropped the game anyways. The only IP thing I like about this game is probably like Potemkin and Axel. Otherwise, like I kind of don't like any of the characters at all. Like I just don't like the premise of the game. I like Potemkin and grappling. I like the concept of Potemkin bustering people so much that I'm willing to play a series and a game that I don't like just to grapple somebody with the Potemkin buster. And that's it. So, and the gameplay it catered to me enough where I was willing to try it out. Versus like the older games where I actually don't want to, I still don't want to play Strive, but I really don't want to play the other games. So there's that. Grim Dawn is It's another ARPG. I haven't finished it yet. I will finish it sometime. But it's just It's just It takes place in like a zombie apocalypse kind of like post world destruction ending kind of where everyone's like gritty and stuff. It's okay. Grand Blue Fantasy first. You know, let me shift these a little. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is meh. I literally only purchased this game for the concept of Luane, and that's it. Otherwise, I would have never touched this game. So it's the same thing with Strive, where I literally only wanted to play one thing, and I'm willing to purchase the game just to play that one thing. The mechanics aren't like whack enough for me not to like spend the money to play the character that I want to play. So that's Grand Blue Fantasy versus Grip. It's a interesting racing game. This fills me with rage. This game, it's a bullet hell. No. It's a space shooter game where you have to kill a bunch of enemies. It's an enemy hell game where it spawns a bunch of enemies and they're all trying to kill you. And there's a rating system for this game that tilts me so much. Like it exists, so I'm always trying to get like the S rank, and every time like I mess up because I'm bad, it fills me with anger. But that's not a fault of the game, that's a fault with me. But because of that anger, that lack of positive I don't want to play games to be angry. So but it's not a bad game, but I will put it in meh. What's next? What's next? What is this? Gotham City Imposters. This game is actually very fun, but I have to put it in trash. It's a free to play with a bunch where the microtransactions affect the gameplay, and there's a bunch of hackers. But in the ideal world where everyone was playing fairly and everyone was like the same power level, and it was just the shooting game with like the abilities and stuff, it's essentially team deathmatch or deathmatch with like Overwatch abilities, but like there's no characters. That you're just playing as the goons of Gotham City, and it's very funny. Very fun game, but whole slew of problems. I don't know what this game is. Oh, Goat of Duty. It's an arena shooter that's dead. And I got it for free, I believe. And would I recommend it? It's fun to play, but there's no one playing it, and I have no one to play with, so I wouldn't. It's an okay game. It's okay. I don't really get any negative things from it, but like, I would not put it in I. It is not an I game. It's like okay. It's a meme game. Gary's Mod. It's up here. It is like Tabletop Simulator. It's a place where people play a game and have fun. That's the core of gaming in a nutshell. So I feel like it belongs up there with a very good game. Garfield Kart is trash, but it's a Mario Kart game that's funny. So I'll put it in I had fun with this game because I do enjoy Mario Kart. So I will essentially play any Mario Kart clone game ? As long as it like plays well. And then Garfield Kart it played okay. So I'll put it in the mid tier. It's not trash, but I wouldn't particularly say it's any good. For the King, asynchronous roguelike team turn-based RPG game. Mini RPG. Roguelike RPG. It is good game. It is a good game. I would recommend people pick it up and play it with their friends. And you have to make sure that you don't control, like if you're playing with people, they make their own decisions. Because it might end up being like you just make all the decisions and they just do the decisions that you make. Then that's not as fun, right? So, For Honor, this game is okay. I'll put it here. It's okay. It's casually, it's okay. Competitively, I'd put it probably down here on worse than these games here because it feels bad. But it doesn't feel bad in the same way that these fighting games feel bad. It feels bad. It feels bad in a different way. It's like fighting someone in real life, except you don't have like the real life reaction time. Like in real life, like if you saw something coming towards you, I'm pretty sure like you'd react like much better. Like in the game where you're playing online and you have to react to like 20 frame, like 15 frame light. I don't know. Very fast light attacks. It just feels so bad. But if we're just talking about like single player modes and like how many modes this game has, all the content, I suppose, is a good game. It's well made. Ignoring the fact that there are like this game is weirdly monetized. Fistful of Frag. It's a good FPS party game. Fight the Dragon is a interesting level dungeon builder co-op game. I couldn't recommend it, but it's not bad per se. Fantasy Strike belongs here. Okay, and actually it doesn't because it's good for introducing people to fighting games and teaching them the most bare bone fundamentals. It teaches you how to play fighting games on a conceptual level that doesn't apply to these anime games that I've put down here. This is a card game that I do not like. It's very slow. It's slow and I don't think it's monetized anymore, but from what I've only played like 2 hours, and then I was like, this is like very slow, and I find it particularly unenjoyable. You have to get the resource system. I just don't like how this game functions in practice from what I played when I played it. Skyrim, okay, this is a hot take, but I think Skyrim is okay. I'm not part of the generation of people who have like nostalgia glasses for Skyrim. Every time I start a run in Skyrim, I can never finish it. Like, I get out of the white run, and then I'm just like, okay, and then I drop the game. Like, the combat is just so bad. Like, not to say like any of the story and stuff is like bad or anything. No, that's crazy. Like, you're all adventuring, the map, the world, the dialogue. It's cool, but like the combat is just so bad. Like, in my opinion, I think that the combat is just so bad that it like prevents me from progressing in this game. Dungetress is a Tetris. You play as a character that moves through a dungeon that is made by you with Tetris pieces. Or Tetris-like pieces. You're like essentially building like a Tetris thing, but then there's like a dungeon being made as you build the Tetris. And it's an interesting idea. It's an okay game, but yeah, let me put this lower with the other card games. But it's in the same vein as Fight the Dragon, where like it's a game that exists and it has an interesting idea, but is it polished and is it well made? I can't particularly say that it is true. I always like Dungeon Defenders because it's a tower defense co-op game, and I just love co-op games. I love playing games with people. You know, that's like one of the parts. Like, if the game doesn't have like a story-based element, then I would like to play games with people, right? If it's not like a single-player game. So I was always looking for co-op games to play with like my friends, and this was one of them. And like Dungeon Defenders as a series is one of them, and I just don't understand the progression of Dungeon Defenders. So I'm gonna put that in meh. I don't understand what you're supposed to defend dungeons, but like there was like a leveling system, and like it was very unusual. Then there's like crafting and upgrading. Like, I'd rather have it that like Sanctum, where it's like there's no crafting or upgrades. It's just, or no upgrades in the sense tied to your character, just like the tower, like just the tower defense upgrading part of the game, and then your character part of the game. No equipment like that has like upgraded with like currencies and stuff. Like, none of that. Like, I would have much preferred Dungeon Defenders to be like Sanctum 2 in terms of how it functions. Like, I like the aesthetic and the style. It's just when you add like microtransactions and like currencies for other stuff, and for me that's just no good. This is Duelist, and they recently made a Duelist 2, and it doesn't have the same problem as Feria. I just don't like the game. I don't enjoy playing the game. And it's probably, maybe it's because it suffers from like, it's like Pox Nora in the sense that you like control like a character and they have like abilities and stuff, but like it's in the form of like cards. And I feel like those games are just not balanced. These type of games are unbalanced and very. It's like Pokemon, but without the tiering system of Pokemon, like UU, OU, things like that. It just has the things, and there are just some characters that are just counterpicked or just are way better. I haven't played this game, but I'll put it in the party game section because I will play it soon. Duck game, goated party game. This game is trash. Don't ever play it. It's a broken, buggy game that the developers never supported or fixed any of the bugs, so belongs in the trash. Fighters. The IP carries this game in my opinion, and the fighting game is trash. So it's not as bad as this, but I'll definitely put it under here. Divinity 2. I will put Divinity 2 and Divinity 1 as very good games that I recommend people play. The story is it's good. It's one of those it's like a tabletop game. No. What am I? It's like it's like the game version of, what do you call it? My mind's blanking on her right now. What do you call it? Dungeons and Dragons. It's the table, but like in a game, and what do you call it? Made in the video game style. I don't want to say it's simplified for a video game, and the gameplay is nice. You can build whatever. There are multiple builds you can go. Of course, if you play on harder difficulties, only certain builds become viable. But for the most part, you can like mix and match whatever you want. And like the side stories are nice, and just the characters, just I won't say well written story, but it's a story worth. It has effort put into it, and it's interesting, and it's nice. And the game, it's a little slow, but I'd say that if you ever have the time to play it with someone, you should, grab a friend or two and just play the game. It's very good, very well made in my opinion. Dragon Commander. This is a management game like Civilization that I'm dog water at, so I have negative. I did not enjoy it. This game, okay, high res. This is a sleeper game. This knockout game they've made is actually quite fun. Unfortunately, it has like the microtransaction stuff. They should do it like Smite, where you can like straight up pay for the game and just unlock everyone for like $30. They might have this. I actually found this game quite enjoyable, and I wouldn't mind playing it with other people. So, but like, I don't think people are playing this game, so it's not. It's a 3D Smash game, but like 3-dimensional Smash game. Smash is like played on the 2D plane. This is like a 3D plane knockout like game. It's kind of fun. I think it's very fun actually. So I wouldn't mind seeing people play this game more. I wouldn't mind if this game was very successful. It's very fun game. Party Bomb. This is a free-to-play team shooter game that's like CSGO, where you want to plant a bomb somewhere, but it's like Overwatch. It's Overwatch CSGO. Oh. It's freaking Valorant, but the shooting, like you can like still run and shoot and stuff. Okay. It's Valorant, but the reverse. So Valorant's more influenced by CSGO than it is Overwatch, in my opinion, with like how the shooting mechanics work. This Dirty Bomb is more influenced by like Overwatch or like the run and gun shooters, plus like CSGO, like plant the bomb. And it was fun when I played it, but it also had microtransactions related to gameplay and is dead. So let's put it here. No, it was a pretty fun game though. Pretty fun game. But that doesn't stop it from being trash. Darwin Project. This came out in the Battle Royale heyday, and it's okay, I guess. It didn't have... It was like the winter, and they used like bows and stuff to like, and you have to survive the winter storm thing, and like 4-night storm, it's closing circle, you have to be the last survivor. It's worse Fortnite. It's Fortnite without building, but Fortnite without building exists now. So I'd rather just play Fortnite. So trash. Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon. Good game. It is a good game that is pretty difficult. It's a rogue-like. Okay, there's like a difference between roguelite and roguelike. And I switched the two, but it's one where like you have permadeath on the characters but like that's not your character. You have like a lot of characters and you manage the characters. It's a management game that I actually enjoy playing and I watch playthroughs for. And in my current, I've never beaten the game because in my current playthrough of the game, I'm pretty far. But I've progressed through the game without like any of my units dying. So they're all over leveled without the proper equipment or like gear because I haven't like the game wants your dudes to die. Like I want to play the game without any of my dudes dying, but like I need my dudes to die so I can put new units so I can farm more stuff to upgrade my equipment. And so I stopped playing the game for that reason. I was like, I don't want my dudes to die, so I just won't play the game, right? So that's the reason why I haven't finished the game. Counter-Strike, it's okay. It's okay. It's like, I'd put it like somewhere down here, but there's no space, so I'll just put it here. It's an okay game. Caster, it's like Super Kiwi 64, but not good. So it's a game made to like fit the old style, but it's just not a good game. But you can beat it in like 1 hour. So I mean, there's that. I mean, it's not a bad game, but it's not good. So I'm gonna put it down here. Ooh, Buck Up and Drive. It's an arcade game that's funny and totally a meme. So I'll put it in alright. It's like somewhere in alright down here, but there's no space. I'll just put it here. Let me switch one of these. No, actually, I think it's in the right spot. Brawlhalla. Apparently, this is a hot take, but Brawlhalla is a good game. People are telling me in the FGC at UCLA, dude, they're telling me a lot of people there think that Brawlhalla is not very good. I'm like, huh? Brawlhalla is a great game. Like, there are monetary, like, transactional things that happen in it, but it's, like, totally unnecessary. Like, you don't need to do any of that, and you can still enjoy the game. It's online co-op. Servers are great. People aren't, like, really lagging. Like, the gameplay maybe on like the highest competitive level might not be that good, but for the most part the game is just a fun game to play. Maybe they're not used to platformer fighters as I am, but I don't know. Pre-sequel, it's good. It's my favorite Borderlands game in terms of story and gameplay with like the different guns and the movement. Borderlands is meh. I felt like I had a grind through this game. Like I was just playing it for the sake of completion, and that's bad. That's something you don't want to do. You don't want to have a game that feels like someone's just playing it just for the sake of completing something. So, but okay, it is the older version of the game, and I did do a solo run through. Maybe it's because I was playing alone that it felt worse. Because, you know, the game's kind of designed to be played with, like, other people. But it's not as good as the later games, in my opinion. So, Borderlands 2, alright. I like this game just looked... It's a game that's not supposed to be serious, but feels serious. It's the original Borderlands. Borderlands 2 is a game that's not serious, that doesn't feel serious. And pre-sequel follows that suit, but it's just, like, the gameplay is better, in my opinion. So, that is that. Balloons TD6. It's an okay game. I'd rather watch ISAP play it than play it myself. That's my take on that game. Blaze 2 Central Fiction, anime fighting game with mechanics and stuff that I don't want to deal with. It goes there. Binding of Isaac is a good game, but I'm trash at it. So I will put it with the other games that I am trash at that I play. Battle Right is actually more fun League of Legends, but no one plays it and the game is kind of dead. So there it goes there. I won't put it that high though. In fact, I'm gonna switch these up. I'm gonna put lower here. Battle Block Theater is a good game. It's a good platformer. I think people should play it. It's fun. It's got a fun story. It's just very casual. You know, it's a game that's made to be fun, and it is fun, and that's worthwhile. Awesome Knots. I actually love this game a lot, but it suffers from being dead and being the new formula of being free to play and stuff with the unlock. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but like, it wasn't always like that. I played it on the PS3 and like this PC version. I don't know. Just hits different. Same thing with Atlas Reactor. This was actually I actually enjoyed playing this turn-based strategy game where you basically chose champions and you played against the other team in like a turn-based MOBA essentially. And I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was good, but it died and not a lot of people playing it, so it belongs in the trash. I don't think you'll ever see a comeback, but during the someone tried something and it failed, but I thought what they tried was fun. It was a good attempt. Astroneer, it's a survival game that I have no idea what I'm doing in. Like I played it. I mean, there's been a lot of updates, so the game is like way more content now. So I'm sure that it's in the alright tier. But when I played it, I don't know what the game was just wacko, and that's my conclusion. Ascension is a good game. I recommend it. It's the same as Shard of Infinity, which is right here. But I enjoy Ascension more than Shard of Infinity, so we'll put it there. Armello is a super game. It is my favorite board game ever made. And it's about animals fighting for the throne because the king is dying from corruption. Like rot, like the corruption that like is like a parrot. Like, I wouldn't say parrot. It just eats your life force. That kind of corruption, not like corruption of politics. Like, I'm talking about like literal corruption of your soul becoming like diseased or whatever. It's a very fun game. I enjoyed it a lot. They recently got crossplay. They fixed a bunch of the bugs. They've been supporting the game for like 8 years. There's like 25 or 30 characters now that you can play as. The equipment and the cards have always generally been the same, but there's new amulets. The game's just been supported a long time, and there's a lot of rolling dice, which like feeds my brain dopamine. So I really love this game a lot, and I would highly recommend it. Apex Legends is I'm bad at this game, but it's fun. It's a fun shooting game. Came out with the Battle Royale heyday, but it's actually not bad. Not bad at all. Anatheron. It is a classic RPG that holds no punches. And it's a game that I was like, wow, this is like real life. Like, you know how in RPGs, like, the progression is like normal? Like, oh, you start at the beginning of this place and you are weak, but the enemies are also weak, right? In this game, you start as weak and everything around you is as strong as it is, and you get clapped. Like, to beat one slime, like the equivalent of a slime in like other game, you have to use your entire party to kill the one slime, or you get clapped. And you actually have to build your proficiency. Like in your normal RPG, you're a beginner sword fighter, right? So like your sword fighter in the normal RPG, your sword just does like 3 damage, right? In this game, your sword has like 40% chance to hit because you're a beginner. And like I'm like that's like, for me that's like whoa, 40% chance to hit, and even at high proficiency, it's only like 70%. Like I'm like I haven't beaten this game, but like I've progressed. I've put in like some like a good amount of progression in the game where I have like every level gives you like what do I say like 1 proficiency point, and so like I have like 20 proficiency in like 2-handed weapons, right? And I'm still only getting like 80% chance to hit. Like, so this game is like it feels like a hardcore RPG. Like you get 0 spells. Like your mage in this game, I've been using the same 2 spells for the entire game up to the point I've progressed, which is like 10 hours. I've been using the same 2 spells because all the other spells, they require like 35 black magic, 35 or like 25 white magic. And I'm like, and each of them have different like requirements. There's what do you say? There's like fire, water magic. They all have like specific requirements in their own tier. So like as a mage, you can't be like a mage of like all elements. Like you have to specialize in black magic, and thus you're limited to only certain spells. Like the black magic pool, like from what I've seen, is like tiny. Like what I'm able to use. Like I've only found like 2 black magic spells at like stores, and they cost like 50,000 gold, and I only have like 5,000 gold, right? Like this game is like, it's not a bad game. Okay, it is I feel like it's a bad game, but it's just super hardcore RPG elements that I've never experienced before, and I was just very surprised. I plan to finish this game soon to get like the full encapsulation of like how they designed this RPG, but like such a very big surprise to me this game was. Among Us, GOAT. It's a GOAT game. Unfortunately, it's been, it's kind of a meme, but I actually really enjoy Among Us, and I wouldn't mind playing Among Us with like 8 other people. I wouldn't mind playing Among Us. And I feel like it's a good game, even though like I like Among Us. It's like TTT, and I like TTT. TTT is fun. Air Max Strike. It is a okay, I don't even say easier because I never got into like this game never got big enough where I could see like the competitive, like how like the best player in the world would play. But it's essentially StarCraft. 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 I don't. It's a cool game. From what I played, I did enjoy it, but I can see it being not enjoyable once you get good. Air, it's a bug. This game has a lot of bugs in it, and it's very simple, and I wouldn't recommend paying $20 for it, but I got it for like $2 because it was like on a 90% sale. And I could tell you that it has $2 worth of content, not $20 worth of content. And the story is there's a recent game that came out called Kenna, where like the game, it looks nice and stuff, but I watched like someone play through the entire game, and I was like, "Bang! This story is like, I don't know. I didn't. I would just play the game because of how it looks. Like, and the story is like subpar, but like it looks good enough where like it piqued my interest, and I would purchase it. So like, Kenna, I would have purchased, but then I probably would not have liked the game that much because I felt like the story wasn't very good and the gameplay was okay. And Air is the same thing. I bought it because it just looks nice to look at. But then like the story is some okay, and then the gameplay was pretty okay, but the story was like subpar as well. So it's an I game. I'll put it in Meh. I'll put it in Meh. I'll put it in Meh. 100% orange juice. Fun with friends. Funny game. Oh. Okay, is that all of them? Oh, it is all of them. Alright. That's the tier list. As you can see, actually, you know, this... the distribution seems pretty normal, actually. What the heck? I didn't expect it to be like that. I thought... Actually, I don't know. Maybe this is a little bit on the negative side. I don't know. I felt like... now that I actually individually went through all of them, most of the game... I don't know. But huh. I'm surprised at how I listed this myself. What the heck? Huh. Interesting. I might expand on this tier list as I get more freaking Steam games. But this is my list for now. And this is a long recording, so I'm going to cut it out right here, right now. Boom, bam. Have a nice day, peoples.